Hey guys, Joseph on the Call Otakus. Just recording this real quick. I'm filling in for DK Josh, um, the top five Shonen fights thing, because he hasn't watched too many Shonens. He told me, and being the Shonen whore I am, watching majority Shonen. It's not just Shonen that I watch, but it's a majority Shonen. Um, Me watching all of that stuff, yeah, I can talk a lot about it. And there's a lot of fights I have on here from quite a few series. And it's not going to be five. I'm sorry I cheated because making a list of five, I could do that, but I would have to think, and I don't want to think right now. So I'm just going to list off a lot of fights. One Piece, Luffy versus Lucci, Gear second for the win. Even Lucci versus Bruno was a pretty awesome fight, and I agree with what X71 said. It was a really great. It was really great the way they did it, and especially if you're a manga reader, especially at that point, because it was such a shock seeing Gear second. Me myself at that point, I was watching NS Lobby. I was an anime fan, and we kind of saw something coming because in the opening six, you see Luffy do the gear second stance where he's down like that, and then he does a little punch thing. But it was pretty cool anyway. Oh yeah, I'm rambling. Zoro versus Mr. One was cool. Zoro's win. I really like that character. Zoro versus Kaku was cool. Luffy versus Smoko and Marineford was pretty cool, and Luffy versus the Admirals, like those fights were pretty cool as well. And just when Ace was fighting in Marineford was really cool. Some of those moves he was putting off. And that's one of the things that annoys me sort of about Oda. I wish he did more with Ace, but when he did that, it was pretty cool. So, not cool because I really liked Ace. Cool as in it was really emotional. It was a really good story plan. That's what I meant to say. Naruto versus Sasuke. Obviously, that's just a great, really emotional fight. Oh yeah, and One Piece, Luffy versus Usopp's cool as well. So Naruto versus Sasuke. Pretty much all of the fights in the Hidan and Kakuzu arc. So that means Shikamaru versus Hidan, Naruto versus Kakuzu, but at the same time, you can say Kakashi, Ino, and Chogi versus Kakuzu. I mean, all of those fights. What's his name? Azuma versus Hidan was cool, and those two people with Hidan versus Kakuzu. I mean, those fights were really awesome, and the animation was great. Pain Invasion, just Naruto versus Pain. All of the fights in Pain Invasion were pretty cool. Hajime no Ippo, there's Ippo versus Sendo, like like Nemu said, and Takamaru versus Hulk. Um, oh yeah, addressing the what people were saying about the about the Zoro versus Kaku fight. I personally think the fight was still good, even though it was half comedy, because I know X71 mentioned that, and yeah. So yeah, I watched Hajime no Ippo as well, and I said the same two choices as Nem did. So Ippo versus Sendo, Takamaru versus Hulk. Dragon Ball Z obviously is going to be Goku versus Frieza, man, because that's just a really awesome fight. And then Goten versus Boo, and Goten is a fusion between Gotenks versus Boo, because Goten and Trunks are a fusion between to make Goten. No, flip. Gotenks is a fusion between Goten and Trunks. That's the one. And they fought Boo. That was awesome. Shaman King Yo versus Hoi. In the anime, that was pretty beast. I liked it. Manga, I'm not sure because I'm not up to that part, and the manga is drastically different. Kenshin versus Shishio that was just awesome. Sanosuke versus Anji was a beast fight in the Kyoto arc as well. And then Saito versus Yusui the Blindsman, that was a cool fight. Yu Yu Hakusho, Yusuke versus Toguro, that was just awesome. I really like Toguro. Toguro was the person you were trying to say, X71. He needs dark tournament fights. I really like Kihei's fights, they were cool. Although this isn't really a fight, it kind of is. Beyblade, I like Tyson versus Kai, that was cool. In Fullmetal Alchemist, Greed versus Ed was awesome. That was the original Fullmetal Alchemist. And then Mustang versus Lost and the Brotherhood was cool. It's awesome that Dragon mentioned Reborn, because I have some Reborn fights on here as well. Suno versus Zanzis was great. Yamamoto versus Genkishi and Gokudera versus Gamma. Those were all great fights. Fairy Tail. I agree with, I think Dragon and XM21 said this. Natsu versus Gijil. Yeah, that was a good fight. Gray and Leon versus Racer. That was a really awesome tag team fight. And Urza versus Midnight was cool. Bleach, Grimjaw versus Ichigo was cool, and Ichigo versus Byakuya, Ichigo versus Kenpachi, all of them were great fights. And Kenpachi versus Noritola, that was a great fight too. Hunter x Hunter, not a lot of people know about it, but Kurapika versus Uban was a pretty cool fight. And Soul Eater, Marco versus Medusa in the anime was so good. So that's my list. There's plenty more, but I don't know. As you can tell, I'm just kind of out of it at the moment. But like, what are your favourite fights? Do you think I missed out anything? I don't even know. I don't even know right now. But Shonen fights, awesome. Um, I might do it next week as well, because I did last week and I did this week. That's a lot. But anyway, I'm not lacking motivation. It's just that I'm kind of tired right now. But anyway, whatever. See you later. Shonen fights. Peace. And I'm not annoyed, guys. I'm just a bit here right now, because I just came out of recording the longest Q&A session ever, and I'm a bit aggravated. So peace.